right, it is the Personal Health Care Reform Talk Show on Pegasus Net Waves, riding on Pegasus, that magical horse, taking your health to a higher level. Before we get going, please go visit clintfuqua.com. That's F-U-Q-U-A, because most people can't spell my last name, .com. Go click the little buttons on there for Facebook so you can like me and so you can get all kinds of great information. Twitter, so you can follow all the random Twitter action that happens. And personalhealthcarereform.com. That is the website for the show. I'm going to have a lot of great stuff coming up on there because I have sponsors coming on. You're going to hear all about that on the next show. One is going to be mobile health that you really need to know about, and the other one's going to be some clothing. So I'll be putting those out there. You'll be getting special deals, all kinds of stuff from my sponsors. They are fantastic. I love them already. All right, but enough about my sponsors that will be coming up on the next show. I'll be talking about all about them. Right now, it is hitting the hot list. That's right, it is health in the news, and there's a lot of health in the news, or health stuff going on in the news. So we're going to run through this right quick because there's a lot of it that we're going to put in here. I think this is like binging on that turkey dinner that you're going to have for Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving's coming up right now. In fact, you're probably going to be listening to the show and then having some Thanksgiving because, well, the show's going out on Thanksgiving Day. Yay! So, a couple things for that. Since you're going to be sitting down, eating with family, some things to have in your meal for your health, specifically. Whenever you're cooking, you're having that turkey, get some rosemary, put some rosemary on that turkey. Why? Because it's great for prostate health. In fact, it's been shown to kill prostate cancer cells, 95% kill rate in vitro. That's pretty good. Along with that, you're going to have some broccoli, some little green trees, have those with your turkey. Lightly steamed, this way you get the most bang for your buck out of the broccoli. For breast cancer, 93% kill ratio in vitro of all breast cancers. That's right, all of them, even those nasty little ones that are tough to kill, even with chemo and radiation. And of course, you're going to be binging, you're going to have tons of cakes and pies and cookies and everything else. I'm going to have a few myself. This is one of my few times a year that I have some of those. So, have some cinnamon, great for blood sugar. And also, it's cold and flu season. It's great for killing the cold. That's right, cinnamon kills off the cold. It's great for that. And also great for blood sugar, once again. Incredible for blood sugar, keeping it normalized. Anybody that's type 2 diabetic, cinnamon every day. It will save your life. And just to put the top on this, some nuts on top of the crust. Nuts, have some nuts, love the nuts. Actually, for a long, healthy life, there's been studies showing that people that eat nuts live longer, have less cancer, have better blood lipid levels, less Alzheimer's, all those things, just from having some nuts every day. That's real nuts, not peanuts. Peanuts don't count. They're legumes. They're not real nuts. So have some almonds, have some pistachios, have some walnuts. Enjoy those. And some dark chocolate, too. So, because I know you are going to have some chocolate, have the dark stuff, the bitter stuff. Chew it up, it gets really sweet. The bitter stuff really does get sweet when you chew it. A little secret there for you. All right, so enough about that and eating great. Let's talk about some other stuff in the news. And I'm going to bang through this right quick because there's a lot of it. The second coming is here. Actually, the second coming will be here next year. The second coming is actually 50 to 100 million policies will be gone as of October 2014. That's right, I said 50 to 100 million. That's a lot of them, people. Along with that, enrollment for all those policies are going to be gone. It got pushed back from October 15th to November 15th. Why? Because it's election year next year and people want to save their seats. That's the only reason why. I hate to say it, but that's it. Also, for Blue Cross Blue Shield, will not be reinstating plans in Alabama that were previously taken out. And Blue Cross Blue Shields will be raising rates up to 24% on current insurance that will be reinstated in North Carolina. So North Carolina gets to keep some stuff, but they're going to be paying a lot more for it. Alabama, they don't get to keep anything. And the last piece here, big question, who has rights over you and your family's health? There's a 15-year-old girl that was actually held captive from her parents in Connecticut by the hospital due to a misdiagnosis by the hospital. That's right, they've held her captive for 10 months away from her family. So, big story on that. That will be on the blog. Make sure to check out the blog because I want you to see that story. Big questions there about your rights as a person and as parents. So with that, that is hitting the hot list. It was a big hot list, wasn't it? So with that, clintfuqua.com. Click those little buttons. Like me on Facebook. Follow me on Twitter. Watch the tweets. Personalhealthcarereform.com, and we will be right back with my guest for the day. We're going to talk about So some elderly health and what you need to know for your parents.
Are you sick and tired of being sick and tired? Is it time to make a change? Well, we can help with that. My name is Sonia Cabell. My company is Creating Healthy Lifestyles, powered by USANA, and we help individuals and families become more healthier. It's customized programs, support, and everything you need to make a better change. Our website is soniacabell.com, SONJA, Cabell, KABELL.com, and I can be reached at 972-935-6484. Let us help you live life and love it.
Hi, my name is Chris Addig. I'm an attorney and a veteran. I founded the Addig Law Firm with a vision. We're going to change the way veterans experience the VA's claims process. You can learn all about that on my website at addiglawfirm.com. That's spelled ATTIG lawfirm.com. But today I'm here to talk to you about something different. For the month of November, we're going to do a fundraiser for Heroes on the Water. If you go to my Twitter page and follow me on Twitter, at vetlaw_US, for every new follower that we get in the month of November, we're going to donate 20 cents to Heroes on the Water. So the goal is to get 5,000 new followers so that we can raise up to $1,000 for Heroes on the Water. To find out more information, go to my blog at addiglawfirm.com or go to our Twitter feed at vetlaw_US. Website is www.addiglawfirm.com, and that's spelled ATTIGLAWFIRM.com. Our Twitter handle is at vetlaw_US. Feel free to share this with everybody you know, get more people on our Twitter feed to follow us, and we can raise a whole bunch of money for our Heroes on the Water.
All right, we're back. Personal Healthcare Reform Talk Show on Pegasus Net Waves, and today we are lighting a big torch. We're going to talk about torch with my guest here, Emily Grooms. And the big question that everybody's going to be asking as they're sitting around the table, actually after they leave the table and they go off into a quiet corner, it's going to be, what do we do about Dad? Or, what do we do about Mom? Or, what do we do about Mom and Dad? Because they're driving us nuts. And what do we do about them? Do we put them in a home? Where do we send them? So we're going to answer those questions and figure out some of this stuff because it is a big deal. My mom and her husband are actually going through that with my granddad right now, or started to last year. So I've seen this whole process go through, and we're still going through it, even though he's in a retirement home. So, and he's got a good one too, and it's still odd how things work. So we're going to speak with Miss Emily Grooms with Torch, and we're going to talk about Torch and what she does with assisted living at Silver Gardens, which is a really neat service over there. So we are here with Miss Emily Grooms, and so Emily, if you would tell us about yourself, what you do over at Silver Gardens, and then we'll get into Torch.
Okay. Good morning. I am a gerontologist by trade. I have a master's degree from North Texas University, and I went there because I wanted an applied gerontology degree, which allowed me to actually be the person that I am involved with all kinds of areas in the aging field. It was not just book learning. You had to do an internship where
That's
you
good.
actually, that's why I say applied. I decided that one of the things that had happened as a younger woman, my mother needed services, and this was 40 years ago. There were absolutely no services to be had. I had to return from going to a PhD program and take care of her, and it was a problem of getting anybody into the home, friends, relatives, to help care for her. And so I decided my area was going to be in gerontology, which for those of you who are not really familiar with that, it is the education process is dealing with learning how to take care of elders in terms of their health and social well-being.
Okay, so this was a just personal crusade for you then,
Right,
essentially.
right. So one of the things that became very important to me was I wanted to actually create an environment that was a home-like environment. And so that's what I did. I started with my business partner, Joanne Garrett, a residential care, and I was very adamant about taking care of people who have dementia of any form, Alzheimer's, Lewy bodies, etc. And so assisted living at Silver Gardens is a residential care home, and we are certified to take care of people who have dementia.
And that's a great service, because I know the stats on that have been getting larger almost yearly, from what I've seen, from a statistic base on aging and the amount of Alzheimer's and dementia and age-related issues, probably due to dietary issues, but there's also a lot of issues from, speaking of my granddad, a lot of guys that were in Vietnam, stuff they were exposed to has led to a lot of dementia and Alzheimer's and Parkinson's issues.
The question is perhaps diabetes is the next form of dementia because of the blood-brain barrier is not crossed. And so there are all kinds of reasons, age being the most prominent.
Yeah, and that's actually being termed as type 3 diabetes right now.
Right.
Is the new one on the horizon.
Right.
Just for anybody that hasn't heard that yet, now you've heard it, type 3 diabetes will be the kind of the new thing coming up in the next 2 to 3 years for that. So you all specialize specifically with Alzheimer's and dementia over at Silver Gardens?
Yes. I'm also involved with the Alzheimer's Association. I'm a facilitator for their early diagnosis group called Trailblazers. We bring the care partner, family member, friend, whomever it may be, in with the person who has been diagnosed, and we have an 8-week training session because, you go into the doctor's office one day, you're Fred Smith, and you're fine. You may be having a few problems with memory, and all of a sudden you're given a battery of tests, which may or may not be correct. You may, in fact, need to go to a neurologist, but you get that diagnosis. You have dementia, probably of the Alzheimer's type, and all of a sudden the doctor starts talking to your care partner instead of you. And many people need to know that it's just the beginning, and that person has not changed and will never change. And when I say to you that we have at Silver Gardens, we have a lot of people there who care for us, who take care of us, who work there, good people. Some of those people have dementia, but they're not any different. And so in the Trailblazer group, we start talking to you about what you need to do about your finances, what you need to do about driving. One of the things, the most difficult thing, particularly for males who have been diagnosed, is
they're not giving up those keys for anything. My granddad's right there now.
No, do not give up the key. And if you live in a large metroplex like we are in this area, that's critical. You become isolated. We don't have public transportation to help these people be able to be mobile. So you do get isolated. And so they are very fearful of that. I just want to say to those people who have been diagnosed and who no longer are able to drive, you have to take into consideration what happens if you're in an accident. If you have an actual diagnosis, in other words, you have a physician who has written a prescription for you or given you an actual diagnosis, the new ambulance chasing is for people who have been diagnosed. And so if you're in an accident, regardless of it's your fault, you're going to pay for it.
You'll be at fault because you got diagnosed
You're
with
not
dementia
cognitively able to be driving.
So
you need to think about that for yourself, but most importantly for your family members, particularly if it's a male and his wife is going to have to spend all of her funds that she's going to be wanting to use for his care, will have to go to pay for a suit. And so
or the kids.
Or the children.
Yeah. So,
absolutely.
We're actually doing that right now. I want to move forward just a little bit here because what the services that you offer are fantastic. I've actually got Lori Miller coming on the next show to talk about if you are in that situation, there's somebody else that can help chauffeur you around so you can live like a rock star for a little bit,
Right.
being chauffeured around in almost a limo type situation. But I want to talk to you about Torch because great group that you're involved in. Tell us about Torch, some of the basics behind that, and how people get involved and who you want involved in Torch.
Okay. Torch is not the Texas Health Hospital that a lot of people think, because we have the same acronym.
Mm-hmm.
So Torch refers to Texas Organization of Residential Care Homes. I am the president of the North Texas chapter in this area, and I'm also a board member for the state organization. Basically, we're people, and it can be a larger organization. We have some members who have as many as 100, 300 members or residents. But for the most part, these are small residential care, meaning they are in your neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And we choose to do this because they're all assisted living. We are all licensed as assisted living, but we in fact choose to have a smaller environment. Makes it easier to take care of people if you're in a residential environment. Not everyone does well in a small environment. They may need a larger environment for activities and if they are in fact in better health physically and mentally, maybe larger organizations work better for them. The more you become frail, whether in body or in mind, it makes more sense to be in a smaller environment.
Yeah, because it's easier to have people around there caring for you. They're more hands-on.
Right.
Let's move forward into that. And
anyway, it's an organization of professional care home owners, operators, and we basically, many of us are nurses or who have health care backgrounds. We want to provide care, whether it's a personal nature in terms of personal care in the way of taking care of you in your ADLs, which are your activities of daily living, or in my case and other members who take care of people who have cognitive issues, who really can't care for themselves mentally or physically. And we do this in very small, as I said, personal care homes, maybe 3 or under, up to larger organizations.
Okay.
The average size is 6 to 10 in a home.
Okay, and that's mostly who you're looking for to join into Torch
Yes.
as groups and.
We also we're really looking for the individuals who are social workers. You make mention of geriatric care managers.
Mm-hmm.
Those individuals who are the discharge planners, nurses who are discharge planners, we want them to be a part of our community because they are the ones who are being bombarded. Mother or father goes in the hospital. Where do they need to go?
Mm-hmm.
They're ready to be discharged. They don't know where to go. And so we have a contract with CareLoop, which in fact will allow us to give out those referrals through the nursing and clinic settings to allow those people to see who we are. It is a software program that we are partnering with. You're just in a really bad situation. You're given a book if you're a family member, and they're telling you to go through the book and pick a place.
Yeah.
This is where, large or small, here you go. We need to discharge. And so if the care managers, whether they're nurses, social workers, if they have access to Torch, then we can help them.
Okay.
I get calls every day for people who are saying, I have to have a place for my relative.
Yeah. And actually, I'm gonna do a quick little shout out here for Care Loop and Michael Walsh, because we're at the George W. Bush Institute 2 days ago during pitch day, and
Good.
fantastic. So people get ready for Care Loop to come out, get that app and use it. It's fantastic app for finding out exactly what to do for your parents, where to put them, the best homes. I mean, it's the due diligence that they put into that app is incredible. So I'm glad you mentioned that, because it was coming up. You've got some booklets here too for some extra resources. I want to, if you want to throw the phone number out for those.
I try to make these available whenever I am as a representative of Torch. For example, many of you may not be familiar, but I'll give you the name, Dallas Area Gerontological Society, DAGS. We have a conference every year. That's an example. I bring these, and the Senior Source and other organizations make these available. I'm going to actually give you the names. One of them is Understanding Your Options for Care in a Nursing Home or Assisted Living Facility, Understanding Residential Care Options for People with Alzheimer's, Understanding Your Options for Care in general in the community. These can be ordered for an individual copy, or you can get large numbers if you have an organization, churches. A lot of times I will have a minister will call me and say, can you get me these? Well, yes, all you have to do, the Area Agency on Aging created these documents, and you can call them at 1-800-252-9240. You can get 1,000 of them, you can get one of them. So be sure and get these publications, because they'll give you information. For example, a lot of people do not even realize that they are eligible for the VA program, which is aid in attendance. So it's when they actually go to a facility and they learn, oh my goodness, I can use this for funding. It takes 6 months to get that application through the process and get the funding to you. And so if you were aware of that initially, you could have already applied for that.
Yeah, and that's a big issue to look at for people out there for getting funding and money for support. How can people get a hold of you for either one, getting into your assisted living community, or for getting into Torch?
You're able to, Torch, we have at the state level is texastorch.com. We are in the process this week of finishing up our North Texas website. So give us a few weeks, but then you can go to northtexastorch.com and find out everything about us. You'll be able to see pictures of people's homes. Some will be doing virtual tours with Michael's app, and we will be able to give you information on how many people have beds available, what are the services. You know, everybody does and has different kinds of services.
Okay. And how do we get a hold of you?
You can call me at 214-277-2413.
Okay, perfect. And hopefully that will help some people out there, because there's so much. We could do hours and hours just on this.
I would like to talk about funding. We are often, Torch is sometimes criticized because most of the homes have to charge a fair amount of money for care. I just want to bring this up because all of us in Torch are very interested in low-cost housing for elders, but that's very difficult. The reimbursements are very low. Personally, we started using Medicaid program when we first started. We became a member of the CAB program. The reimbursement was $22 for the care, and then a small amount for the room and board. There is no way that we could possibly take care of someone with that low kind of funding. However, there are the two programs that still exist. One of them is a managed program, which is the CAB program. The other is CCAD, which is the Community Care for Aging and Disability programs.
Yeah, actually, if you'll do me a favor, if you will send that to me, I'll get that on the blog post.
Okay.
So put that out there. You can just click on the link and then go to it.
Great.
Which is always easy. And thank you for being on the show, because once again, much needed information for this. Come back, join us next time. We're going to have Lori Muller coming on to talk about non-medical care for better health, which actually rolls into what you're doing and helping people get around and helping families take care of their loved ones. So with that, come back, check out the blog, because I'm going to have tons of extra information on the blogs from her. And that is it for today. Enjoy your Thanksgiving. We'll be back in December.